Hello, 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 my beautiful ones, my wise ones, and my melanated ones. Today is Thursday, March 6th, 2025, and I am Wisdom Reborn. And I hope that you've had a wonderful few days. I don't think I've did a video in almost a week. And life has been good. Life has been really good. I'm a little tickled. Um, but I wanted to come on here and I wanted to say a few things. So yesterday I made a post about the synthetic hair weave having cancer-causing agents in it, and it was offensive to some. Now, I will say, if I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to say this, because I don't want to apologize for what I said. I don't want to apologize for the fact that it made some people think. But I do want to apologize if it was insensitive to anyone. Because the last thing that I want to be is insensitive. I don't want to be cruel. I want to be deliberate in what I say. I want to be deliberate in the message that I share. And in being deliberate, sometimes you hurt people's feelings. And sometimes people get angry with you. And sometimes people decide that they just don't like you anymore. And that's fine. However, I do not want to be insensitive or cruel. So if my statement was insensitive or cruel to anyone, I apologize for being insensitive and cruel or cruel. I do not apologize for making you think. I do not apologize for putting something out in the atmosphere that needs to be out in the atmosphere, because I hear words in songs that's way more cruel, way more insensitive than a statement that I made yesterday, and you dance to it. Way more insensitive and way more cruel, but you laugh at it. So, my intent is to promote thoughts. My intent is always to uplift the divine feminine and to promote thought. So anything other than that you got out of it, that's on you, basically. I don't want to be insensitive, but I want to step on toes. I don't want to be cruel, but I want to make you angry. We have been coddled and hugged and kissed and patted on the shoulder and all of those things entirely too long, so much so till we are emotionally immature as divine feminines. We are emotionally immature, and we are carrying our children, our future, to hell in a handbasket. And I don't even really believe in hell. We are carrying them to destruction. All because we don't want anyone to step on our toes, and we don't want anybody to hurt our feelings, and we don't want anyone, excuse me, we don't want anyone to offend us. But I will say this. If there are cancer-causing agents in synthetic hair and you are an adult, then you have absolutely every right to do that. But if there are cancer-causing agents in synthetic hair that may affect our children, if there is lead in synthetic hair, that will definitely affect their development, the development of their brain, the development of their female organs, their reproductive system, the development of their pituitary gland, the development and progression of their pineal gland, their endocrine system, then that's a problem. And no, my children are grown. So no, I don't have any children to braid their hair. I'm just saying, at some point, when you know it's poison in the Kool-Aid, you can't keep drinking a Kool-Aid because the Kool-Aid don't make you sick right now. Because just because it didn't get you this time doesn't mean it won't get you next time. Just because it didn't hurt one person doesn't mean it won't hurt another person. I just want you to think. I want you to consider the consequences. I think that's a big problem that we have in our community. We don't consider the consequences. And there are consequences to our actions. There are consequences to our reactions. There are consequences to the decisions that we make that affect others. I'm just saying. Now, I wanted to talk about on a softer note, because that's another thing that we as melanated feminine divines, we don't get to be soft enough. And the reason we don't get to be soft enough is because we've had to step up into areas that the divine masculine should be in, but because our situation is how our situation is, we are adaptable. And we will adapt to those certain situations, and we know how to tap into our masculine side, and we know how to be feminine, but we don't always know how to be those things and be emotionally mature in being those things. So as I was walking and meditating this morning, I was thinking about how our emotions get so twisted and tangled up together till we don't even know which emotion to use when certain things don't sit well with us. And it made me think of a composting system where people take their coffee grinds, eggshells, potato peels, banana peels, their apple cores, everything that's organic goes into a bin, and those organic things begin to break down, and it forms a type of almost soil. It's called compost. Now, the purpose of it is to fertilize. Y'all, I hadn't even, thank you, Most High, thank you. The purpose of compost is to fertilize whatever needs to be grown. You put it around your plants, you put it in your garden, because the composition of all of those things together is good. And it's good for the soil, and it's good for the plants that you're planting. But each individual item is considered trash or no good by itself. Now, you got eggshells that are hard and gritty. You got coffee grinds that are bitter and full of caffeine still. Banana peels that are slippery and turn brown and begin to stink. Orange peels and whatever else you put in your composting bucket or center. But when all of those things break down, they turn into something wonderful, something that promotes growth, something that promotes healthiness, something to bring life. Now, once they're all ground up and rotted, because that's what those things actually have to do. They actually have to rot in order to bring forth the nitrogen and the other chemicals. Most High, please clear my crown down. I told y'all, I don't have a problem with speaking, with enunciating. I don't have a problem with any of that. And whenever I am doing these videos and I feel that pull in my throat, or it's hard for me to put a sentence together or enunciate a word, I already know what it is. It is that the figures of darkness don't want me to get my message out. The message has to come forth because that is the vessel that the Most High made me into. That is the thing that I agreed to do, that's listed in the plans that were made for me before I was formed into my mother's womb. So it has to happen. It has to happen because I understand the power in the words that I speak, and I understand that the ground that it lands on is fertile ground. Whether it grows a seed now or whether it sprouts something later, every word that I speak falls on good ground. So back to what I was saying. Thank you. Those things have to rot. They have to decompose in order to be good for something. In order to do what the compost needs for it to do, those things have to break down to almost their lowest molecule so that they can bind together with all of those other molecules, all that other rotted groceries and rotted stuff. It all has to bind in together. Now, when you get that composted soil, you don't care what was in it. You don't care how it came together. What you are concerned with is the end product. And the end product is a natural fertilizer that is going to make whatever is planted around it grow and grow more healthy. In the midst of all of that, in order for us to understand after the fact, and then, after it has turned into compost, after it looks like soil, after it has gotten to the point to where it can properly fertilize, the only way you can determine what is in it is if you break it down scientifically, or if you remember what you put in there in the beginning. Now, when it comes to emotional maturity, we have forgotten the things that made us emotionally immature. Like, we forgot, I'm going to use myself as an example, because I feel like experience is the best teacher, but I can tell you from my experiences and hope that it helps you not have to deal with the same thing. Now, I was married for 11 years. And during my marriage, I was a fighter, and my ex-husband and I went to blows a lot. In public, in private, it didn't matter. But in the midst of all of that, I felt like as my husband, there are some particular things that he owed me. There were some particular things that he was responsible for, because when he said I do, it was supposed to mean he did. He didn't always, nor did I. But because both of us had tremendous tempers, it would go to blows a lot. I remember one particular time when I slashed the tires on our car. I say our car because we were married, and in marriage, what's his is mine. Now, I found his car at a location that his car should not have been. I politely requested that he come to the car so we could talk, and he declined. In the midst of all that, I slashed 3 of those tires with a good old hook blade. When he came out, the police were there. The police said, you vandalized someone's car. No, I didn't. This is mine. What do you mean it's yours? We heard that this is not your car. Oh, it's my car. We're still married. It's my car. It's community property. I said that to say, now that I'm older and now that I've experienced that, and that level of emotional immaturity has been dealt with, and I can reflect on it, and I can look back and I can see how foolish it was for me to slash those tires. Because yes, it was community property, which means his money was also partially my money, which could have been money that could have been used to help our children or pay a bill or something. I wasn't concerned with that. I was emotionally immature. Now, there is no way in the world that I would find, I don't have a husband, but if I had a husband, someone that I was dating, or it would have to be a husband, because when you're dating somebody, it don't work like that. When I get a husband, when I get a husband, I would never do that. I would never do it. But it's been through experience of being emotionally immature and having to think how foolish I looked, how unladylike, how I misrepresented myself as a divine feminine, as the mother of daughters, as a woman who tried to instill good things into other children in the community. The embarrassment of it all. But were I not able to dissect some of this rotten stuff that has decomposed in the compost, I would never recognize where the fertilizer came from. We deal with situations and circumstances, and we continue to deal with them in the same manner, despite the fact that the situation and the circumstance are possibly different. So what I said on Facebook yesterday was, if wearing weave causes cancer, is it karma if you have to have chemotherapy and lose your hair? It was insensitive. It was downright cruel, because cancer is not a discriminatory illness, disease. It is something that can come upon anyone. People were upset. A couple people checked me online, or attempted to check me online. I guess they checked me. I don't know. I don't feel like I was checked, because I have dealt with some demons in my life, and some demons in my life, and some demons from other people that were way bigger than those comments yesterday. But nonetheless, the emotion that was shown in some of those posts, a couple of those posts, it was anger. It wasn't, how I perceived them were that I had made someone angry. Not that I had made them feel like it was insensitive, but they were angry. That post should not have made people angry. Might have been a little touchy, but it should not have made you angry. It should have made you think. A dear friend of mine posted, and I accidentally deleted her post, and I'm very sorry. I don't know how I done half sleep, had sat here and almost fell asleep, and was typed up something for myself and tried to delete it and accidentally deleted yours, and I apologize then and I apologize now also. But explain to me in more detail and more in depth that a lot of women wear weave. They're not going to stop wearing weave. And I understand that, I guess. I really don't. I really don't. I'm going to be honest, I really don't. If there is a chance that you can prolong your life, and if you see the trickery, the billions, probably trillions of dollars that have went into stopping our reproduction, because those types of cancers that the hair care products produce is generally reproductive cancer. There are several lawsuits out right now for those cancers. But not only do they promote cancer, also they affect your menstrual cycle. They cause fibroid tumors. They cause migraines. They cause an imbalance in hormones. And it's all because the system is set up to stop our reproduction. The reproduction of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, the melanated ones. And it's targeted for melanated people. Directly targeted for us. Because those chemicals don't come up in products that aren't specifically designed, scientifically designed for us. But because we are so quick to get angry at things that are put before us to make us think. And possibly because it's me who said it. Who knows? But at some point, we have got to get to a level of emotional maturity to where we can look beyond the initial emotion and understand the meaning behind the statement or actions. Once again, I apologize for being insensitive, or for you perceiving me as being insensitive. I have dealt with cancer this close. So I understand. Almost, I can't tell you how many of my family members, how many of my immediate, I have immediate family members and grandmother and father and aunt and so many people, even my child, that has dealt with cancer. But if we know that these things have the possibility of increasing our chances of getting cancer, and knowing that cancer is running rampant now in the melanated community, I think I saw it's killing us 3 times more than it's killing anyone else. And we see where it's coming from. Why shouldn't we do something to make it stop? I'm certain they can make synthetic hair without those chemicals. But they're not going to if we keep purchasing and using those chemicals. Like, I'm certain that us banding together to boycott certain businesses will force those businesses to look at their bottom line and see, well, you know, these people might not come together for everything, but it looks like this might be something that's going to make them come together. We are a multi-trillion-dollar community. But if we keep spending our money on things that are killing us, what incentive or what deters people who use those things and produce those things from continuing to pump that into our community? Canada refused to sell Kellogg's cereals because Kellogg's cereals have so many artificial flavors and artificial colors and so many additives that cause illnesses, that cause issues in children. So much so till Kellogg's does not put those chemicals in any products that go to Canada. But they still put it in the products in the United States. So don't tell me it can't be done. It can be done. But we have to get to a level of emotional maturity. Pay attention to what is being fed to us and things that are being given to us and those things that are being pumped into, not gently placed, pumped into our communities that absorb in our bodies, that stop our reproduction, that cause cancer at rates 3 times higher than any other species of human, or any other class of human, or any other race. And I don't like to say race, but it's all designed just for the melanated. And when we understand how powerful we are, can you imagine how powerful we have to be for them to put cancer-causing agents and lead? There is a federal ban on lead, but they are putting it in hair that we use as adults and that we put in our children's heads. Do you understand how powerful we have got to be in order for them to use the products and the chemicals and the solutions that they use to stop our mind, to stop our reproduction, to cause us pain? Do you understand the science and the technology behind that? And that is the point that I was trying to make on yesterday. There is a level of emotional maturity that we have got to get to in order for us to pay attention to the things that are happening around us, to pay attention to the way that they are trying to take us out. It's all about the melanin. That's our superpower. If they can stop it, they will. And if we don't ever think about the things that are going on around us, they won't. So, my wind chimes are going off, and I love the sound of them. I love the sound of them. On this beautiful Thursday, March 6, 2025, I'm going to say it once again, and I'm never going to say it again. I apologize if my statement was insensitive or cruel, if it made you feel any particular kind of way, or brought up ill memories, or made you, I don't know, uneasy about the possibility of chemotherapy and losing your hair, or having loved ones that have done so. But I will not apologize for the message behind the statement. And the message is, when you know better, you do better. That's street talk. When you know better, you do better. And just because it didn't happen to you this time, doesn't mean it may not be happening to you down the line. Doesn't mean that your loved one or someone that you know that had cancer, it wasn't fed to them. Maybe not through hair weave, but through something else. Because these things have not been happening as frequently as they have been happening in our communities until maybe the last 30, 40 years. It ain't even been 30 years. Cancer used to be a rare thing. Now it happens, you hear it every day. They give us what they want us to have, whether it's good or bad, and we accept it with open arms. And something about that just doesn't make sense. You want a biblical reference? My people perish due to a lack of knowledge. And that is not just biblical knowledge. That is knowledge of things that are going on around us, that hinder us, that are set for our destruction. So, let me go ahead and finish this out. On this beautiful Thursday, March 6, 2025, I hope that you gain a level of emotional maturity. It's a process. Just like a compost, to make compost is a process. Something has to break down. It has to rot in order for it to be any good. We have to experience things in life, and we have to be able to reflect on those things. We have to be able to look at ourselves when we think of those things, and we have to know how foolish we looked. We have to know how, I'm going to say it, stupid we acted. We have to notice that at some point, we have got to change in order for us to be fertilizer, in order for us to help bring forth life, in order for us to find growth and to promote growth in others. So my beautiful ones, my wise ones, and my melanated ones, but especially my beautiful, wise, and melanated ones, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. And just a few words from Wisdom Reborn. Have a good one.